A quick update, real quick, because it is part of the cult of Cornette family and topics, as you mentioned before we went on the air. The Crusade for Children update. This year, the grand total $5.8 million. That raises them to, in 72 years, 200 and I think 22 or somewhere around there, $1 million. And again, the definition of local television, there used to be, we've talked about every local television talk shows, kids shows, the creature features, the wrestling shows, the telethons. Now all that's left is the news. And that's why nobody has a pleasing television personality anymore, because nobody has a place to go to learn how to be a TV personality, unless they want to be a meteorologist or a goddamn anchor man. So, but at least we have this little bastion of local television here. And besides the fact that the only good personalities as hosts are the old folks that did this way back when and learned how to do it.
Randy.
Oh, come on now. Not poor Randy Atcher. Leave him alone.
I didn't say anything.
He's been made more famous around the world by our program, thankfully, in the last 5 years or so than he was when he was the #1 singing cowboy on Louisville television with his sidekick Cactus Tom Brooks. But anyway,
was there a number 2?
There was no number 2. Randy Atcher was in a class by himself. But the story is the people, Brad, the people here, the normal people, the people that will never, ever be on TV except Crusade weekend. And that's the ones that I love. And this year, my favorite story, and you can turn it on anytime and there's firefighters crying and things. I mean, it's just so emotional. But the 65-year-old guy, little old guy, well, he's 2 years older than me. So I guess I shouldn't say, well, little old guy. He was smaller than me, in a wheelchair, visibly had physical issues, didn't have full use of his arms or either one of his hands. And he's in a motorized wheelchair. But since 1969, and they had the fire department on, he was with them that he works with, but he's gone and collected. He goes to stores, he goes to fast food places, he goes to churches. He does the roadblocks with the fire department. This little old man in a wheelchair in his lifetime has collected $500,000 in cash by himself for the Crusade for Children. It's just fucking amazing. And they, again.
There he goes again. Always looking for attention.
Oh, come on now. Hey, Rick, come on. No. Oh, goddamn, if Rick said anything, they'd set him on fire down here. No, hey, there was a police chief, or not a police chief, but a fire department chief at one of the fire departments 10 or 15 years ago that they found out had misappropriated Crusade money, like $100,000 or whatever.
Oh, shit.
And he not only, after they fired him and charged him and put him in prison for like 4 fucking years or 5 years or something, I think he had to move out of fucking town.
How could you not?
That was, but anyway, so the old guy raised $500,000 or whatever, but also they're doing wrestling angles. Who was the #1 fire department this year? Obviously, PRP, Pleasure Ridge Park. The big dogs of the yard. They were the first fire department 70 years ago, and they're always the #1. This year, they raised $323,000. But the Fern Creek Fire Department, the chiefs had gotten in a set to on social media or wherever and made a bet, and on the telethon, because Fern Creek only came up with $208,000. The chief from PRP got to hit the chief from Fern Creek in the face with a pie. So where else do you get to see stuff like this? And Monroe Township, just the one more note I made, Monroe Township, Indiana, is a fire department that serves a community of 5,000 people. Guess how much money they raised?
500,000 people?
No, 5,000 people.
Oh, 5,000 people. 75,000.
$101,000. Because you know what? They're up on the interstate up there. See, the interstate run right through them up there. They get the people coming and going. They set up the roadblocks and you can't get away. Anyway, thank you, everybody, because there was a bunch of people. John Fell, you charitable bastard, you know you are, and a bunch of people from the cult of Cornette that did heed our call and did donate for the Crusade for Children, and we appreciate it. So that's why I wanted to let you know. And here is how fucking great this thing is locally. Guess what the electric company kicked in? Louisville Gas and Electric, a goddamn utility that normally takes our money. $373,000.
That is your money. What money do you think they're using for that?
No, here's the thing. Every year, the employees contribute as they go and they raise money, and whatever the employees come up with, the company matches the whole thing. So they basically double it.
They match it out of company funds or out of the executives paying for it?
Out of it's Louisville Gas and Electric, but it's not a goddamn, charity organization. It's a corporation. Yes. So they, but I miss, you know what? Here's another thing that's wrong with the world, Brian, today. Nobody has any fucking cash. If you don't think about this, I mean, I'm scared to leave the house without a sufficient amount of cash for the distance or I might be going or time I might be away. But most people don't have cash anymore. They stick their card in everything, even for fucking stamps or chewing gum at the convenience store or whatever. And what I miss was when I was a kid, teenager, even up to 20 years ago, these fucking fire departments would come down Broadway. They'd have all the goddamn money they'd collected at these roadblocks and all year and the lemonade stands and the bake sales and the golf tournaments or whatever. And they would dump it in these giant glass fish tanks and you'd hear the coins and you'd say, and everything was 20 or smaller. But that TV station would have like $2 million easily in cash going through it over the course of the weekend. And it made for great television. You see them dumping all this fucking money and people are jumping up and down. Now it's like my change jar has more money in it currently down in the TV room because I haven't wrapped it and taken it to the bank in 3 or 4 years than they were collecting in these boots. Because now they've got a thing you can take a picture of the code with your phone and give on Vimeo or whatever. It's not as visual.
Venmo.
With them too.
Well, it's not about it being visual. It's about the easiest way to collect the money. And most of the people nowadays.
Well, yeah, but it fires you. It fires you up as a kid. I was always, listen, more. When they were dumping these giant fucking buckets of goddamn cash money into these fucking giant fish tanks. And everybody's running around and they're sweating because there's no air conditioning because we're in black and white because it's back in the goddamn pioneer days. And
there's air conditioning.
Well, not in my story, but it was back. You could see all that fucking money, and it was great television. Just the fucking money everywhere. You just wanted to take your clothes off and just go swimming in it. That's another thing. I always wanted to have, when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a money bin like Scrooge McDuck, where I could just jump through. But then I started saving my spare change up in a goddamn empty Kleenex box that my mom had. And then one day when I was about half full, I piled it all out on the floor. I was about 6. And I jumped into that trying to slide down it a little bit. It was goddamn hard. How the fuck did Scrooge McDuck jump onto literally 8 or 10 cubic tons of fucking gold and copper and silver and nickel and not fucking hurt himself?
Jump onto it. He was like literally swimming in it and he would pop up.
Yeah, well, you'd have to have some strong shoulders and arms in that also, but just jumping off the diving board When you hit that right there, that'd be.
Someone should try that. Send it in. Take all your money and try to jump through it.
Yeah, and if I had $1, I'd ask my mom for change. If I had $1 bill, I wanted, because it would took up more room, right? So it's a bigger pile.
Where were you getting $1? Did she always have change?
Well, if I ended up having a fucking dollar bill for some reason when I was a kid, 6, 7 years old, that wasn't a lot to ask of a small child to have $1.
And whenever you had one, you asked for change?
I wanted change because that way I could add to my change pile.
So you get upset if you got quarters?
Well, it could, they're shiny. It could be anything shiny. But now remember, Mama Cornette's the one who came up with the idea to go to the bank and get rolls of dimes and quarters. And this was in 1969, 1970, whatever. And we would take them home and we'd take them apart and take all the silver ones, the 1964 and before of the quarters and the dimes out and put regular new ones back in and take them to the bank, get another fucking, and we ended up, boy, howdy, when silver hit $40 an ounce back in, what was it, 1979 or 8 or sometime around there when everybody was going crazy about goddamn gas prices. Whew, we cleaned up.
Any thoughts, any sympathy about the penny going away?
Well, to be honest, at this point, I think, because like I said, nobody carries cash. And generally, I've noticed that over the past few years, if you see the need a penny, take a penny, leave a penny, whatever the fucking penny thing is called, chances are I'm taking a fucking penny out of it rather than leaving one. So I think we can round off to because now they cost like almost 3 cents a piece to make. So that does seem somewhat inefficient. Like this program.